My precious child, I saw your tears last night, even the ones you tried to hide, even the ones that fell silently into your pillow while no one was watching. You didn't think anyone noticed. You didn't think anyone cared. You may have even believed that your weeping was wasted, lost in the silence. But I was there, and I collected every tear. Yes, every single one. None of them disappeared. None of them were ignored. Not one of them was wasted. Because your tears matter to me. They speak of the parts of your heart you no longer have words for. They tell a story that even you don't fully understand yet. They are sacred to Maitreya, one carrying a piece of your pain, your longing, your hope. You see, I don't turn away from your sorrow. I don't grow weary of your emotion. I don't expect you to be strong all the time. I welcome your tears, because I am not afraid of your vulnerability. I don't flinch at your grief. I don't retreat from your sadness. I move closer. When you cry, I don't roll my eyes or sigh in disappointment. I wrap my arms around your soul and whisper, I see you. I'm with you. I'm not letting go. You were never meant to carry this alone. You were never meant to bottle up the ache. You were never meant to pretend everything is fine. Your weeping is not weakness. It's the language of your soul, releasing what your lips can't express, and I understand every drop. I know what broke you. I know the moment that shattered your hope. I know the heaviness you've been carrying day after day, year after year, and I have never looked away. Even when you felt abandoned, I was right there. Even when you couldn't feel me, I was near. Even when you stopped praying, I never stopped listening. I was in the room when you whispered, God, where are you? I was beside you when you asked, how much longer? I was holding you when you thought you were falling apart, and I never left. I didn't need you to be strong for me. I just needed you to let me be strong for you. Let this truth rest on your heart today. Every tear you've cried is seen, is known, is honored. Not one has fallen to the ground unnoticed. Not one has been overlooked. Not one has been meaningless. I collect them like treasures. In fact, my word says, I bottle your tears. In heaven, they are that precious to me. And I am using them. Yes, using them. Not as punishment. Not as proof that you failed. But as preparation for something beautiful. Because nothing is wasted in my hands. Your tears are watering something eternal. They are softening the soil of your soul. They are preparing you for a harvest of joy that you can't yet imagine. I know, it doesn't feel that way right now. I know, it just feels like loss, or heartbreak, or disappointment. But I see the bigger picture. I see what you can't, and I promise you this, your tears are planting something sacred. You're not breaking, you're becoming, you're not drowning, you're deepening. You're not forgotten, you're being formed. And one day, you will look back and say, even those nights I cried alone, were not in vain. So please, child, stop judging yourself for feeling too much. Stop hiding your sorrow like it's a burden. Stop apologizing for needing comfort. You are allowed to weep. You are safe to release it all in my presence. You are free to feel. And when you do, I will not withdraw. I will not push you away. I will not tell you to get over it. I will simply say, come here, let me hold you. Let me carry what you can't. Let me be your peace. There is nothing weak about being tender. There is nothing shameful about your pain. There is nothing wrong with your tears. They are a holy expression of your humanity, and I created you to feel. Let your tears fall, child. Let them cleanse, let them release. Let them make space for healing, because I am already at work right here in the middle of your weeping. You just can't see the fruit yet, but you will. And when you do, you'll understand what I mean when I say, your weeping will not be wasted. I collect every tear. Asterisk, my beloved. There are tears you've cried that even you have forgotten. Moments of quiet sorrow, when you held your breath just to keep from breaking. There were nights you stared at the ceiling in silence, too tired to pray, too numb to feel. And yet I saw them all. I remember the way your shoulders shook when you held back the sobs. I remember the way your hands trembled when you clutched your chest, hoping the pain would ease. I remember the way your voice cracked when you tried to pretend you were okay. You don't have to pretend anymore, not with me. You don't have to act strong. You don't have to hold back your pain. You don't have to push through without pausing, because I am the God who sits with the weeping. Not as a distant observer, but as a father who feels every ache his child carries. I've wept with you. In the hospital room, at the graveside, after the heartbreak. In the car, when you pulled over just to breathe through the overwhelm, I didn't stand apart from your pain, I stepped into it with you. You're not weak because you feel deeply. You're not broken because you cry easily. You're not failing because your soul feels heavy. You are human. And I created you that way. I gave you emotions not as something to be ashamed of, but as a sacred signal of what matters to your heart. And when your heart breaks, mine feels it too. I've seen how hard you've tried to be brave, for your family, for your friends, for the world that keeps moving, even while your heart feels paused in grief. But child, I never asked you to carry it all. I asked you to let me carry you, and here's what I need you to understand. Your tears are not evidence of defeat, they're evidence of depth. Depth of love, depth of hope, depth of faith that still clings to me, even when life doesn't make sense. Do you know how precious that is to me? You may feel like your prayers have been unanswered, but every tear has been received as prayer. When you had no words, your tears spoke for you. When you had no strength, your tears carried your soul to me. When you had no faith left, your tears were still a bridge between us. And I listened. I listened when the world was silent. I listened when your friends didn't understand. I listened when you wept into your hands in frustration, and I held those tears not with indifference, but with reverence, because I know what they cost you. Tears don't come from shallow places. They come from the deepest places in your being, from the love you've lost, from the dreams that feel distant, from the fears you can't name out loud, and each one matters to me. I don't waste anything, especially not pain. In my kingdom, even sorrow becomes seed. Even weeping has weight. Even mourning has meaning. You may not see it yet, but your tears are doing something. They're softening you. They're reshaping your heart. They're deepening your compassion. For others, they're watering a harvest of purpose that is still being formed, and in time, you'll look back on the nights you thought were empty, and realize they were actually sacred. Because I was doing something in you, not just around you, but in you. I was tenderizing your spirit so you'd know how to comfort others. I was deepening your empathy so you'd carry my heart. I was stripping away the noise so you could hear my whisper again. And here it is now. I have not forgotten you. I have not ignored your tears. And I am still writing beauty from this brokenness. You've been taught to hide your pain, to get over it quickly, to smile even when it's fake. But I want to teach you something different. I want to teach you how to bring your sorrow to me, how to sit in the presence of your grief without shame, how to trust that even your weeping is holy in my sight. This is not wasted time. This is not spiritual failure. This is not the end. This is the middle, the tender, sacred middle, where something deep is growing, even if you can't name it yet. I know what you're still carrying. The weight of unanswered questions, the guilt you haven't been able to shake, the dreams you buried because they hurt too much to hold. But here's the miracle, child. I collect it all, and I redeem it all. There is nothing you've lost that I cannot restore. No tear you've cried that I will overlook. No sorrow so deep that my grace cannot reach it, so let it fall. Child, let the tears come, let the sorrow breathe. Let the healing begin, not by running from the pain, but by handing it to me. This is not weakness, this is worship. This is the beginning of restoration, because when you bring me your tears, you give me permission to turn your mourning into dancing. You make space for joy to return. You open your heart to miracles you never imagined. And they are coming. Joy is coming. Healing is coming. Newness is coming. Not because you forced it, but because you trusted me with what hurt the most, and I promise you this, not one tear will be wasted. I collect them all, and I will turn them into something beautiful. My child, I know you've tried to stay strong for so long. You've shown up for others even when your own heart was breaking. You've smiled through the pain, carried burdens in silence, and whispered prayers no one else ever heard. But now, I want you to know, you don't have to carry this alone anymore. Let your tears fall. Let your shoulders release the weight they've held too tightly. Let your heart breathe again in the safety of my presence. Because here, in my presence, sorrow is not something to hide. It's something I hold. Gently, tenderly, faithfully. You've heard it said that time heals all wounds, but that's only part of the truth. It's not time that heals, it's me. I am the healer of broken hearts, the lifter of heads, the binder of wounds no one else sees. I don't rush you to recover. I don't push you to move on. I sit with you in the ashes. I mourn with you over what was lost. And then I begin the work of making all things new. Even now, I am doing that in you. I see the places in you that still tremble, the nights you wake up remembering what used to be. The days when grief washes over you unexpectedly like a wave. And I say, even this I will redeem. You don't have to numb it, you don't have to escape it. You don't have to pretend it doesn't hurt. Pain is not a sign that you lack faith. It's often the evidence that you're still alive, still open to healing, still holding on to what matters. And I honor that. I want to remind you today that your tears are not just a release. They are also a planting dot each time you cry. You water something eternal inside of you, a capacity to feel deeper, to love more fully, to see others with eyes of compassion, to trust me not just when life is good, but especially when it's not. You're becoming someone radiant through the very sorrow you thought would destroy you. And that is the miracle I work in those who stay close to me in the valley. I do not waste pain. I do not ignore your suffering. I do not gloss over grief. Instead, I weave it into purpose. Do you remember how the rain falls before the flowers bloom? Do you remember how the seed breaks open before life begins? So it is with your tears. They are not the end. They are the evidence that a transformation is taking place. You may not see it yet, but something is changing in you. There is a tenderness forming, a depth of spirit, a strength that doesn't roar but whispers, I am still here, a faith that survives the flood and emerges deeper on the other side. You're not the same as you were before the tears, and that's a holy thing. You are more aware now, more awake, more sensitive to the beauty in others, more drawn to the quiet things, kindness, mercy, presence, peace, and in all of it. I am closer than ever. You've never needed to earn my closeness. It's not reserved for the strong or the cheerful. It's given freely to the broken-hearted. My promise, the Lord is close to the broken-hearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. You qualify. Not because of what you've achieved, but because of what you've survived. And child, you've survived more than even you admit. But I've seen it, every silent battle, every lonely milestone, every time you celebrated others, while grieving your own story, and I'm proud of you. You may not feel brave, but you are. You kept showing up. You kept choosing to breathe, to hope, to believe in, if only a little. And that was enough. Now let me meet you in that little. Let me multiply it. Let me restore to you what was lost. You don't have to know how I'll do it. You just need to believe that I will. There is beauty on the other side of this. I'm not telling you to pretend it doesn't hurt. I'm not asking you to forget what you've lost. I'm simply reminding you that nothing you've walked through has been wasted. Not a single tear, not a single ache, not a single moment. I saw it all, and I am using it all. You may have cried behind closed doors, but I stood with you in every room. You may have grieved silently, but heaven recorded every tear. You may have thought you were breaking, but you were being rebuilt. Not to who you used to be, but into someone stronger, gentler, deeper, wiser, someone who carries my heart more fully than ever before. So let it flow. If you need to, tears are not weakness. They are prayers, in liquid form, and I hear every one. You don't have to be embarrassed. You don't have to explain. You don't have to control the outcome. Just come, as you are. With your tears, with your weariness, with your longing to feel whole again. I will meet you there, because your weeping is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of something new, something sacred, something beautiful, something that only grace can create, and I will walk with you until that beauty is fully revealed. Every step, every breath, every day until joy returns, and your heart whispers again, I never cried alone. Asterisk, my child, the world doesn't always understand your tears. They may see them as weakness, as drama, as something to be hidden behind smiles and strength, but I see them for what they truly are, a sacred offering. Yes, your tears are sacred to me. They are more than emotion. They are your heart trusting me enough to break open in my presence. They are a cry for comfort, a confession of pain, a surrender of control, and I receive them all, just as incense rises in a temple. Your tears rise before my throne. You've never cried in vain. You've never wept without me noticing. You've never grieved without being held. I hold every tear, not in some metaphorical way, but in a holy, personal, intimate way that heaven honors. Even now, I am gathering what the world has dismissed. Every hidden sob, every buried sorrow, every why, God, whispered into your pillow. I see it, I value it, I collect it, and I redeem it. You've been through seasons where you felt like nothing good could possibly come out of your sorrow. But I want you to know, the soil that is soaked in tears is the same soil where miracles grow. I'm not done writing your story. This chapter of sorrow will not be the final one. This valley you're walking through is not the end of your path. This ache that sits quietly in your chest is not the full truth of your future. There is more. More than pain, more than loss, more than silence. There is redemption. There is joy. There is renewal. I am not the God who leaves things undone. I finish what I start. And I've started a healing in you that I will bring to completion. You may not feel it now. You may not even believe it fully. But I am already turning this sorrow into strength. There is purpose in this pain, not because I caused it, but because I will not let it be wasted. What tried to break you will become the very thing I used to build you. What made you cry will one day make you comfort others. What was lost will one day be returned to you in ways more beautiful than you imagined. Because that's who I am. I am the restorer, the rebuilder, the redeemer of every broken piece. I never promised a life without sorrow, but I did promise that you'd never face it alone. And I am here, now, always, not just when you're strong, but especially when you're weak. Not just when you sing, but especially when you weep, because your tears are not a threat to me. They are an invitation to comfort you, to love you in the deepest way, to carry what's too heavy for you to hold any longer. I see you, child. I see how you hold it together for everyone else. I see how you press forward when your heart says pause. I see how you smile while your eyes still sting, and I'm proud of you, not because you fake it, but because you haven't let the sorrow steal your soul. Even in your weeping you've stayed soft. Even in your grief, you've kept your heart open. Even in your questions you've kept listening for my voice, and here I am, speaking directly to that raw, trembling place inside you. I love you. I have always loved you. And your weeping is not weakness, it's worship. You may think worship is loud songs and raised hands, but sometimes it's simply staying when you want to run. Sometimes it's letting your tears fall in my presence instead of hiding them. Sometimes it's saying, I don't understand, but I still choose you. And that moves my heart in ways you can't even imagine. I know what you've endured. I know what they said. I know what you lost. I know what it cost you to stay faithful through the storm. And I promise you, it was not for nothing. Heaven keeps record of what this world overlooks. Heaven honors what this world devalues. Heaven restores what this world tears down. I will restore you, not in a way that erases the past, but in a way that redeems it, that weaves it into something more whole, more beautiful, more real than you've known before. You won't be who you were before the tears. You'll be better, not because pain is good, but because I am good enough to bring good out of pain. One day, you'll look back and say, that season didn't destroy me. It deepened me. It brought me closer to God. It made me real. It taught me to cry without shame. It showed me the arms of a father who never let me go. And in that moment, you'll understand, your tears were not wasted. They were seeds. They were prayers. They were holy. They were honored. So don't be afraid to weep when you need to. Don't rush past your sorrow. Don't silence the emotions that rise in you. Feel it, and bring it all to me. Because I'm not just the God of joy, I'm the God of sorrow too. I'm the God of both sunshine and storms, and I will never walk you through one without walking you into the other. You are safe here. You are held here. You are being healed here. Your tears are seen. Your soul is known. And your pain has a purpose. I'm still collecting every tear. And I'm still turning them into joy. Just wait, child. Beauty is coming. My precious child, as we bring this moment to a close, I want you to linger in this truth a little longer. I have seen every tear. I have held every sorrow. I have counted every ache in your heart. And none of it has been wasted. You may not yet understand why certain things happened. You may still carry unanswered questions. You may still feel the sting of things you lost. But please hear me now. You never cried alone. Even in the silence, I was sitting beside you. Even when no one else knew, I was listening. Even when your tears fell without words, I was interpreting every drop. I didn't turn away from your pain, I leaned into it. I didn't retreat from your sadness, I came closer. I didn't judge your tears, I honored them. Because those tears, they are holy. They are not weakness. They are not failure. They are not shameful. They are worship. They are surrender. They are your soul's way of saying, I still believe you care. And I do. More than you'll ever know. I want you to know that what you've walked through has not defined you, it's refined you. The tears you've cried are not your identity. They are part of your becoming. They are the water beneath your roots. The proof that even in pain, you stayed present. And I honor you for that. You may not realize how brave you've been. But I see it. Every time you got out of bed, despite the weight in your chest. Every time you showed up for someone else when your own heart felt empty. Every time you whispered, God, I trust you, even as tears streamed down your face. Is courage, that is faith, that is worship. And I want to bless you for it now. I bless your heart with peace that doesn't just numb pain, but transforms it. I bless your soul with rest, not just sleep, but the kind of rest that renews your strength. I bless your eyes to see beauty again, even in places where sorrow once lived. I bless your future with joy, pure, surprising, overflowing joy, not because the sorrow didn't matter, but because it made room for joy to matter more. And I bless the tears you've yet to cry, because those, too, I will collect. Those, too, I will redeem. Those, too, I will use to water something sacred in your life. So as you leave this space today, I want you to carry this one truth above all else. Your weeping was never wasted. It was witnessed. It was welcomed. It was woven into something beautiful. And the same God who collected your tears is preparing to hand you joy in return. So don't rush the healing. Don't silence the sorrow. Don't run from what still needs to be felt. I am still with you in it all. Still collecting, still healing, still loving you, moment by moment, breath by breath. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible. You are mine. You may go in peace, but never without my presence. Amen.